Hey, everybody. Welcome to Cruiseman Live on February 7th, 2025. I'm going to need your help because I'm relatively new at this YouTube live thing. Let me know if you can see me okay. Can you hear me okay? Put something in the chat window just to let me know. There should be a chat window somewhere off to the right of your screen. So I just need to know if my audio is coming through, if my video. I don't see anything on my mic. Let me see here. Can you hear me, or do I need to get closer to the mic? I don't know how to turn the volume up on this thing. So let me know. Any sound coming through? Okay, here I see Robert White. I see David Edwards. I see Pat Eaton. I see Dennis, and everybody says they can hear me and see me okay. Welcome, everybody. I may not have a chance to. Hey, Mark, how you doing? See Mark joined in. Uh, like I say, I'm a little bit new to the live YouTube thing, so bear with me. I will tell you that if I start getting too many questions or comments, hopefully that'd be great, wouldn't it? Then I will limit the questions and comments I respond to those of you that maybe put in a super chat, or if you happen to be a member of the YouTube channel. If you're not familiar with the membership thing, you can check it out later. Super chats, there's a little dollar sign down at the bottom of the chat window. And if you want to donate to the cause, you can do that. Gratuity, I guess. And I'll start limiting my responses to those of you that put in a super chat. Right now, it's not a big deal because I can probably respond to everybody's question. So this is a very informal conversation we're going to have about the 24 or the 25, I should say, Honda Goldwing, which was just announced. And I felt like rather than sitting down and just recording another video, it might be a good idea to really sit down and hear what some of you guys think. Um, uh, Jim Watt says 10 by 10 here. I'm not sure what that means, but I hope it's good. And let's see, Tim Hardy, hello. I'm not a big consumer of YouTube live videos because the person doing the video usually spends most of their time just welcoming everybody to the video. So I didn't, I don't get much value out of it. So forgive me if I don't greet every one of you that comes in. I did see Robert White. He's a member of the channel. So I always like to, greet those. And most of you know Robert, he's got a YouTube channel and you probably have been to his channel. If not, check out Robert White Moto. But we're going to, and also I will remind you, I've got some notes down here because I'm terrible at remembering things. So I made myself notes, printed out some things on the 2025 Goldwing, some new information to me, new to me. But if you haven't done so already, please sign up for my email list. I just sent out an email yesterday or day before on our new merchandise, which I'll talk about more later. And you can sign up at cruisemansgarage.com/newsletter. It doesn't cost anything. You can unsubscribe at any time. And I will be sending out more and more newsletters. Okay, I'm going to go up here and do something. There we go. Kitty8112. Hello, a member, one of my YouTube members. Hello. Thank you for supporting the channel, being a member. Okay, so let's get right into the new Goldwing. I think that's what everybody wants to talk about. The video I put out a couple, 2 or 3 days ago, I think it's the most popular I know it's the most popular video after 24 hours, because after 24 hours, I had over, I think, 30,000 views of that video in 24 hours. Now, what that tells me is that there is a ton of interest in the Goldwing, and there was a ton of interest in the 2025 Goldwing. And I know a lot of you, I've read a lot of comments. I think there's 500 or 600 comments on that video. Lots, the response to the new Goldwing are all over the place, all over the place. Some people are very happy about it. Some people are disappointed. I think a lot of people were hoping for a little more from Honda. I think we were, we speculated a lot, and we've seen what other companies are doing, other brands are doing with their models as far as especially on the technology side. So I think a lot of people were hoping for more. But basically, what I predicted is it was just going to be a badge and some color changes, and I think I predicted that 2 or 3 months ago, that it would surprise me if Honda did a major update, on an anniversary year, which they've never done. They've never moved to a new generation as part of an anniversary edition. Uh, and I kind of understand that. So we're going to talk a little bit, maybe what might be happening in 2026. We don't know. Honda typically, for those of you that haven't been around the Goldwing community a long time, Honda tends to move very slowly. They are not leading edge. They are in some respects when it comes to mechanically, when it comes to their engines and their transmissions, like the DCT transmission. Nobody else has anything like that right now. And that's really, I think, when it comes to the Goldwing, that's Honda's strong suit. It's that raw, uh, you know, combustion engine engineering. They've really got that down. I don't think anybody can really compete with the Goldwing as far as an engine, smoothness, performance. I mean, it's really got it all. But they tend to lag when it comes to technology. So I'm going to read a couple of your comments and I'll respond to them. Let's see. Mike B said, HD Rider here, becoming interested in wings. First time watching you. Like your videos. Thank you, Mike. Welcome to the show. Appreciate that. We have a lot of Harley riders that are part of our channel and part of this community. So, and some people own Harleys and Goldwings. So it's not uncommon for people to have both. It looks like we have about 81 people on the chat right now. So thanks, guys. Michael Hoffman says he's going to get the red 2025 Tour DCT. Tell me, Michael, have you already placed your order with a dealer? If not, I may have a deal for you. Don't know. Let me know. Dennis Morrill, it's still the best touring bike in the world. I tend to agree with that, especially for me. Now, not for everybody. Some people, they love the V-twin experience, and they love the Harley feel, the Indian feel. I will be going to Las Vegas on the 18th of this month to test ride some of the new Indian models for 2025. And I'll be doing some Instagram from there. I'll be doing some Facebook. I'll be doing a lot of, and of course, I'll be doing some YouTube videos eventually once I get back and get everything edited. So I'm anxious to see what Indian is coming up with their new Power Plus platform. They invited me out there for a couple of days. Very, very nice. I don't know why Honda doesn't do this, but they don't. I'm just going to read a couple more comments. Kitty12, who is a member, says, Robert, I'm in the middle of my dash cam install. Thanks for the help. Oh, I guess Robert. Okay. I don't know why I read that. Let's see. Love my 2023. This is from Robert White. Love my 2023, an amazing bike and the best I've ever ridden. Well, I love my 2024. So for those of you that are in the market, possibly for a new Goldwing, we're going to talk about, should you buy a 2024 or should you buy a 2025? Should you get the newest, the latest, greatest? What are the pros and cons? First of all, I want to talk a little bit about the recall, this engine bolt recall. I was on the phone yesterday with Kyle, who is the operations manager at Southern Honda. And he gave me some information that I thought was pretty valuable. And as I speculated, there are some dealers, service techs, that have come up with a shortcut. They've come up with a way to replace that bolt that doesn't take as long as what Honda recommends with taking off all the Tupperware and taking off all the top shelters and removing the gas tank. They figured out a quicker way. And, to do that, they've probably cut their time in half or less of what it takes to actually replace that bolt. So, and he was welcome to admit that. Now, what they are doing though is if a customer at Southern Honda, this is in East Ridge, Tennessee, the largest Honda Goldwing dealer in the country, if you want your air filter changed out as part of that process, I know of some dealers that are charging almost full price, not quite, but almost. One person sent me an email and said they were quoted $490 to get an air filter changed as part of this recall. By the way, I've got my Crown Royal here, in case you're wondering. This is not a Crown and Comments. Don't confuse me. But one person was quoted $490 to get the air filter replaced as part of the bolt recall, which I thought was kind of steep. Well, anyway, at Southern Honda, they're going to do it for $140, basically 30 minutes of labor and the cost of the air filter. And I think the air filter is like 40 or 45 bucks. So you're paying a half an hour of labor. And the way Kyle explained it to me, Honda's paying them to take all that stuff off anyway. So they're passing some of that on to the customer to let it help subsidize the cost of you getting a new air filter. So if you've got a Goldwing, I would say with 15,000 miles or more, I'd go ahead and get the air filter for $140. I'd go ahead and get it done because you're probably going to need to get it done at 25 to 30,000 miles. I know Max just did a video where he says it can go, 7.5 million miles before you need to change the air cleaner. But a fresh air cleaner isn't going to hurt anything. And if it's only $140, I'd go ahead and do it. Not trying to dispute Max's beliefs at all, but that's just my take. Gold Rider 1, another channel member. Sorry I'm late, CM. That's okay. Everybody's welcome. You can pay a little penalty, but that's okay. We can handle that. And by the way, Mac Gold Rider 1 has a channel, Gold Rider 1. Check it out if you haven't done so already. I saw a video of Max talking about somebody that hit a guardrail at night, but I haven't watched the video yet. Mac, was that because you did that. So I'm thinking maybe he was talking about his engine guard and how it helps save the engine. And I'm wondering if that was Mac's story where he flew 50 or 80 feet in the air. That's a joke, by the way. I hope it's a joke. Okay. So that's the deal with Southern Honda and the air filter as part of the Bolt recall. Now, if you take your bike in for an air filter, it's probably going to cost $500 or $600 to get that air filter changed. So if you've got to take it in for the recall anyway, you might as well get it done for $140. Okay. Now, while I was on the phone to Kyle, got some interesting information about the 2024, 2025s. Goldwings are going to be in short supply for a while. This is pretty common anytime a new version comes out, a new model comes out, model year, because you've got a declining inventory of the current year, or the previous year, 2024. You got a declining inventory. They're not shipping any more 2024s out. And you've got limited production on the new 2025s. So we don't know how many they're going to be able to get right now. And what that usually means is if you buy a bike right now, you're going to probably pay MSRP. You're going to pay full price. So Kyle told me they're going to be placing their first order with Honda on February 17th. And those bikes will be delivered in March. He doesn't know how many they're going to be allocated. I think Honda says they get at least 3 of each color, but they may get more. And even if they have more demand than what Honda provides them with, there's other dealers, they have a way they can get bikes from other dealers. So let's say, for example, you want a gold 2025 Goldwing and you call Southern Honda and you say, put me on the list. Now they don't take deposits. He said they don't make you put up a deposit. They just put your name on the list. So you don't have to pay anything to be on the list to get one of these new Goldwings, which I think's kind of nice, kind of interesting. So those orders placed on February 17th will be for a March delivery, and they do not know right now when they'll be delivered. He said usually within a week or two after they place the order, they get information from Honda as to when they think they'll be shipped and when they should be able to expect them in. So we're assuming they'll be in, sometime in March. And I think I mentioned in a previous video, we're trying to arrange where I can maybe get out there and maybe we'll unbox one. Maybe I'll be there while they put one together, build it out, and we'll do a review of the 2025 Goldwings. I'd love to chance to see these new colors in person and some of these new features. Real quick, Michael Hoffman. Hey, Michael. He says, I own a 2018, love everything except the seat. I upgraded this for sure. My 2012 is more comfortable. I agree. My 2012 seat was more comfortable than the 2018. MV&G said, Southern Honda is my dealership, so it was extremely disappointing when their service folks said I had to leave the bike there for 2 weeks to get the bolt recall done. Wow. Kind of surprised. I thought maybe they'd wait till the parts got in and then you could just take the bike up there. Let's see. Massimo, hello. Hi, Cruiseman. It's a true pleasure to see you live on your channel here in Italy. Wow, Massimo from Italy. I think we met at EICMA a little over a year ago, didn't we? In fact, he says right here, I'm Max, and we met last year at EICMA. Okay, I remember you, Massimo. Yes. Good to hear from you. Okay. B Tom says audio is great and video is also great. Well, I wish there was something better to look at. I won't take my cap off. I always say I've got a face made for motovlogging. So, No You said, I know the Honda dealership I went to in Arkansas had only a small amount of Goldwings because they had limited room and were waiting on the 2025s to come in. Pretty common that they'll try to sell out of their previous year's inventory. Now, I will tell you when I talked to Kyle, and I've got a special deal for you guys. Like I said, I think a lot of dealers right now are going to be selling at full price, MSRP. But Kyle told me that if you contact Southern Honda in East Ridge, Tennessee, and you tell them that you heard about this on Cruiseman's Garage, or tell them you want the Cruiseman's deal, the Cruiseman's Garage deal, they will take off $1,000 to $1,500. It depends on which bike you get. Maybe if you get a bagger or if you get a full-blown tour or an airbag. I don't know what the price discrepancy is. But they are really supporting our viewers and our channel by offering you guys that discount. And I think I'm don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure that was going to be on a 2024 or a 2025. I'm pretty sure. So make sure if you buy from Southern Honda that you tell them you want the Cruiseman's discount and hold them to it. I hope they get it. Now, he did tell me they only have one DCT 2024 bagger left in stock. Only one. So if you want it, you better hurry. They have 23 white Tour DCTs remaining. After those 23 are gone, that's it. They're not getting any more 2024. They have 23 2024 white Tour DCTs in inventory, ready to go. So if you want the white, like I've got, the white with the black and the red trim, you better get on it because they're not going to be there long. I'll bet after this live show, I would be willing to bet that 10 or 15 people will call Southern Honda tomorrow to have them reserve or hold one of those white DCT models. We got 105 people watching right now, and by the end of the show, who knows? Who knows? B. Tom, hello from Nova Scotia. Hello. I'm just going through the list here. DJ on a Wing, hello from Southern California. Hey, DJ. And let's see. French Guiana is following you. Very cool. Terry Finette's, hi, Cruiseman, trading in my 19 so I don't have to deal with the recall. Wanted the upgrades anyway, gave a deposit on a red one DCT tour, can hardly wait. Hey, Terry, put in the chat or email me or put it in the comments of this video when it's posted. Did you get a discount? Did you have to pay full MSRP? I'm just curious. You don't have to tell me what you paid, but be interesting to know what kind of deal you got. Okay. MV&G said Southern Power Sports will order the parts once the bike is there. So I guess they have to have the bike before they order the parts. It has to stay once they order the part. Once the part gets there, then they schedule it to get done. They're firm on that. Okay, well, I didn't know that, so that's good information. Jason says hello from Wisconsin. Dawn says, is there any blind spot monitoring for the 2025? No. Unfortunately, well, I mean, there's not from Honda. There are other third-party companies that make blind spot monitoring system. And in fact, if you go to Robert White's channel, Robert White Moto, he has reviewed the one from Innov. I'm supposed to be getting a blind spot monitor and new product from Innov in here, maybe this week or next week, and I hope to be installing and reviewing that. I think it's a combination dash cam blind spot monitor, but I'm not sure about that. I'm waiting on Max McAllister. He's setting all that up. So Don, no, there is not one built into the 2025. And while we're at it, let's talk about the 2025. Let's talk about some of the changes. Everybody's probably aware by now of the colors. The Element Gold, it's pretty typical for Honda to have a gold paint job on an anniversary edition. Not every year, but they did in 1985. I think what was that? Was that the third generation? I believe that was the 1200. Somebody correct me. Somebody who's around probably had one of those bikes. And this new gold, Element Gold, is a homage to that 1985 GL 1200, I believe, because it has that same brown accents on the side. And a lot of you commented on, on that paint job. It's very divisive, I will say. Believe it or not, some of you love it. Some of you hate it. I'd say I think Kyle said it's about a 70-30 split, and I think that's probably true. I think 70% of the people that look at it don't like it. But I'll tell you what, when I first saw it, my first reaction was, oh my God, what have they done? But I'm going to reserve final judgment until I see it in person, because sometimes you can get these bikes out in the light, in the sunlight, and they look completely different. And I've heard rumors from some people that say it is really a beautiful bike. So who knows? Who knows? Maybe I'll fall in love with that Element Gold with the brown accents. I didn't realize until I made my video the other day, I actually started to zoom in on some of those pictures I found on the Honda website. They're not very good pictures. And there are tiny little Goldwing emblems in the design of that brown accent. It's actually kind of cool the way they did it. You'll never be able to get it repaired. If you have a scratch or a paint, you'd have to get it whole thing replaced, because there's no way a painter could do that. And it may be a stick on, maybe it's a decal, and maybe they clear coat over it. I'm not really sure. David Jackson, hello from Vancouver, British Columbia. Hi, Cruiseman. I bought your maintenance manuals. I think he means videos. and love them. Keep up the good work. Keep the videos coming. Thank you. Actually, since you brought that up, I'll let you know right now. I just now, this week, for those of you that have the fifth generation Goldwing, some of you may or may not know this, but I have videos for the fifth generation Goldwing. And I have just recently moved those to the new OTT platform. So you can now upgrade to that OTT platform, whether you have the older Goldwing or the newer Goldwing. So just let you know that real quick. Just go to my website, cruisemansgarage.com. You'll be able to get there and see all that information. But as far as the colors, we've got this element gold, which is divisive. We have the red, this, somebody put it in the comments. I can't remember the name. Is it Cabernet, something like that? Cabernet red or something? I don't remember the name of the red, or Bordeaux. It's like a wine name. And I think it looks really nice. I really like the way they did the black and gold accents on the paint. And it also, those accents also have the little miniature Goldwing emblems, kind of in the background, very subtle, looks very cool. And I think the red is going to be super popular. One of you already said you'd placed an order for one. I'll bet that's going to be the color of choice. Like last year, I think the color of choice was the white with the black, like I've got. I actually like the black with the gray after I saw it. I'm just not much of a black motorcycle person because it's a pain in the ass to keep clean, but they are beautiful bikes. And I think the red, this dark red, I can't wait to see it in person because I think it's going to be the color of choice for 2025. So that brings me to this. And let's talk a second about the bagger. The bagger model is a matte black. And I didn't know when I made the video that it had that Goldwing accent it's a very subtle, kind of a faded Goldwing emblem in the saddlebags. Really, really neat looking the way they did it. Once again, you'll never be able to get it fixed. If you get a scratch, you'll have to have the whole thing replaced. MVNG asks me, will you ever ride to Alaska? You should. It's a ride of a lifetime. I think if I were 10 or 15 years younger, I might just buy an Africa Twin or rent an Africa Twin or buy one and sell it when I get up there and fly home. I think a lot of guys do that. I don't see me making a ride to Alaska. I just don't know. I know my friend Dale did it this last summer, and he said it was amazing. He did it on his Goldwing. I'm sorry, no, he had an Africa Twin. I'm thinking of Adden. Adden did it, F6B Adventures. If you don't follow his channel, he's got a whole bunch of videos about his ride on his Goldwing to Alaska. You really should check it out. It's very interesting. F6B Adventures. Check out his channel. Looks like Road Glide's here somewhere. I just saw somebody mentioning Road Glide. Hello, Road Glide. Road Glide, one of our local Goldwing owners that comes to breakfast with us occasionally. So what's my theory on this? We got this silver Goldwing for 2025, and it's a non-anniversary edition. Now, the red, the bagger model in black, the red tour model, and the gold tour model are all anniversary editions. They have the anniversary badging, which, by the way, is very minimal on this bike compared to previous anniversary models. I had a 2005, which was a 30th anniversary, and it had a little badge on the windshield garnish up front. And it had, I think it might have had one on the trunk. I don't remember. Somebody let me know in the chat. Didn't it have one on the trunk as well? Maybe not. This bike, on the other hand, all it has is the anniversary mentioned on the center panel switch, which is, right there in front of the gas tank. So then we've got this silver Goldwing, kind of a third color for a tour model, which Honda has not done since 2018. because they had a red, a white, and a blue in 2018. I don't know if there's any other years where they've had 3 color choices in the US. Let me know in the chat, my memory. So why do they have this silver? It's kind of odd. Why? And it's a non-anniversary edition, and it's the same price as the 2024, because the prices did go up about $500 in 2025. But now you can buy a silver 2025 that's a non-anniversary edition, even though it's the anniversary year. What was Honda thinking? What I've been thinking about this, and I have a theory, because remember, this is a big company. And as much as we like to think of it as a forward thinking engineering company, like most big companies, it's run by accountants and bean counters. Sorry, Robert. Robert's an accountant, for those of you that don't know. So I'm thinking out in the warehouse at Honda somewhere, they had 300 or 500 or 1,000 Goldwings already assembled with everything except the Tupperware. They had the frames, they had the engine in, they had all the electronics in, and they had the center panel switches in. They had the ECUs in. Well, if you've got the ECU, you've also got the little smart key. And they had, say they got 1,000 of them out there in the warehouse, but they don't have 50th anniversary printed on anything. And rather than trash 1,000 center panel switches and convert those to 2025s, somebody in the accounting department says, well, why don't we just come up with another color, go ahead and sell those as 2025s. They were basically going to be 2024s, more than likely. And why don't we just paint them a different color and sell them as a 2025 non-anniversary edition? That way we can still use those old smart keys that don't have anniversary. The center panel switch doesn't have anniversary printed on it, and we don't have to throw away 1,000 of them or 10,000 or 500 or whatever it is. So my guess is, that's just pure speculation on my part. What the hell do I know? My guess is if you want a silver 2025 Goldwing, you'd better damn sure get it pretty quick, because I think once that inventory runs out, they're going to quit making them. They just wanted to get rid, because they're not going to go back and create a bunch of other center panel switches, because they're probably thinking, in 2026, we're getting rid of that whole mechanism anyway. We're going to come up with something completely different, which brings me to the 2026 Goldwing, which we're going to talk about. And I'm going to talk about it after I go through some of these notes. Doug's Dogs says, you are old. Are you talking to me? Well, hell yeah, I'm old. Look at me. Road Clyde says, okay, Cruise, didn't say impressed, but I think you will. Changes the perspective in person. I think once I see that gold color, it might be completely different. We're going to talk about some of the other changes too on the new 2025 version. Gold Rider 1 says, I can get my glasses and take some medication and the gold is still ugly. Well, maybe, but I have been wrong before. I used to not like the red, the 2023, was it red that like Robert has? I used to think that was an ugly color until I saw his in person, and I didn't know it had the accents. I didn't know it had the darker red and all the trim and all that, because it's hard to see that in the pictures. So, and I thought about on that gold model, how I thought it was strange they put that silver on the windshield garnish. But again, I think they're hearkening back to the 1985 or one of the year models. They had like a chrome windshield garnish. And I think rather than putting chrome on there, they went ahead and just painted it silver. It looks strange, but I think for those of you that were around in 1985 and you had that 85 Goldwing GL 1200 that was the gold with the brown and all that, A lot of you guys are gonna want one of these. It's gonna bring back a lot of memories. So, I know, but you never know. You get that right color of gold. You gotta remember these things we're seeing online are digitized images. I doubt that these are actual photographs of the painted motorcycle. I'm thinking they're probably a digitally rendered image. And so it may look completely different in real life when we get a chance to see these things out in the sunlight. It might just be a whole whole different thing. Um, Robert says, next live chat, disable the ads. We have to catch up. I didn't even know there were ads. That's how unaccomplished I am at YouTube Live. I didn't know there were ads. I'll have to research that and I'll turn that off next time. Sorry about it. You didn't miss anything, by the way. You say you had to catch up. It's just me rambling. So it's not like you're missing anything. And this will all be recorded and be posted to the channel. So if you want to go back and watch it, with ads, you'll be able to see that. Road Glide says we need a break with Don the Voice. We need a break with Don the Voice. Does that mean you don't want to hear Don on my videos anymore? Is that what you mean? Or be more specific, Road Glide. I'm not sure what you mean by that. B Tom says, Cruiseman, love your channel. Thank you. Appreciate that. Wes Jackson said, I would love to see red and black with the chrome trim and wheels. I agree. That would really be stunning. And I think that's going to be one of the big selling points of the gold model. There are a lot of people, and I'm one of them. I really prefer the chrome. I do kind of like the black wheels. I will admit, I am kind of getting to be a fan of those black wheels. Much easier to keep clean, or at least they don't look as dirty when they're dirty. The black is growing on me, but I really think the chrome looks much classier. And for those of you who are in the EU, how is that going to work with chrome? I thought that was banned now. Somebody put a message in not long ago that chrome was no longer a thing in the EU. Let's see. Road Glide. No way. That gold tone is premium. It's a beauty. Harkening back is right. Okay. Well, we'll see. The jury's out for a lot of us. A lot of you've already decided you hate it. My first reaction was yuck. I was not impressed, but I'm going to hold back until I actually see it in person. And maybe if I get lucky when I'm at Southern Honda, there will be a gold one there that we'll get to see in person. And maybe we can get them to pull it outside and take a look at it. Okay, let me look through some of these messages. Bat Dude 2, what happened with the nav system? Well, that brings me to another point I was going to talk about, and this is one of the changes on the 2025. Honda did away with the onboard navigation. I predicted this a few months ago. I said, I wonder in the future, I thought they would wait for a whole new generation of Goldwing to do it, but I kind of wondered if they would keep the onboard navigation because there were so many people complaining about it. It was an additional expense for Honda to have to keep maintaining it. They probably had to pay a license fee to the company that produced it. I don't think they've updated it in a couple of years, 2 or 3 years maybe. It was really a bad decision. Whoever made the decision to go away from Garmin and go with this Harman system, and that's not Harman like Harman Kardon. It's like Harman, which I think was owned by Samsung, but they had some kind of partnership with Honda. And I'm guessing, I'm speculating because I have no contacts at Honda. I can't prove this, but I'm guessing they had some kind of deal on their automotive division for these GPSs. And they thought, hey, we've got this contract with Harman. Let's just put it in the Goldwing. But it just was not up to code. It wasn't up to standard for a touring bike. It was okay for a car. It would have been fine, but it just wasn't good enough. I ended up buying a Garmin XT2 for my Goldwing, my 2018. I have not installed it on the 2024 yet. When Robert and I went to Colorado, we used Waze for our navigation. We did not use the built-in Honda navigation, and Waze did a good job. I think we didn't have any issues. So, I can see why Honda did it. It cut some of their costs. It shows the direction they're going, but you have to also look at the competition. I think Indian still has a navigation system. It's pretty nice, but they have a nice website too, where you can lay out routes. Much nicer than the one Honda used to have. Honda no longer had a website to lay out routes. I'm not sure about Harley. I think the new Harleys still have navigation built in, but I'm not positive about that. So let me know in the comments or in the chat. Doug's dog said, I have it on my 24 and I never use it. I never use it either. I got so frustrated with the built-in navigation. I just gave up. It was just too much trouble. I just never did like the Honda navigation. That was just me. Just didn't like it. Some people like it, but not enough, apparently. So what Honda did is they apparently have made some changes to the overall audio package, because from what I see on their website and from some other literature I've received, they've changed the screens. The design of the screens is different than it was before, the radio screens and other screens. They don't talk about that anywhere really in their press releases. But if you look at the pictures, you can see they've actually changed the graphics of the screen. And I'm wondering if this is a precursor to what's coming in 2026, or are they just going to replace the whole thing? I'm really kind of surprised they would do something for just 1 year. Why would they go to the trouble of taking out the navigation unless they lost the contract, or in case they ended their relationship with Harman and they were no longer going to have a deal with them because they haven't been providing updates anyway? I don't know. What do you guys think? I just thought it was odd that they would go through I think I may have told the story in one of my videos a long time ago, that about 2.5 years ago, somebody from Honda reached out to me and asked me if I would like to be part of a group to give input on the next generation of Goldwing audio system. And of course, I jumped at it. I said, absolutely. I'd love to be able to give my feedback, my input, my thoughts. I emailed them back. I never heard back from them. I emailed them back 2 or 3 times. Never got a reply. So I didn't know if that meant maybe they had just decided to scrap the Goldwing altogether. They weren't going to come out with a new version of the Goldwing, or they just didn't want my input. Probably the latter. So, because obviously they've changed, they've made some changes to the radio appearance, the settings. It looks like the icons are different. The colors are a little different, which it really needs. Now, the real question, and I asked Kyle this the other day when I had him on the phone from Southern Honda, are we going to get an update, a firmware update with these new graphics, this new stuff? Now, I don't know if that would include getting rid of our navigation system. I don't know. See, I don't know if they changed the audio pack, the actual physical hardware on the bike, or did they just change the firmware and the programming? I don't know. So he didn't know either. He contacted somebody, his contact at Honda, and that person did not know the answer to that question. So my guess right now is, if you want the new interface for the audio system with wireless I know you wouldn't get wireless CarPlay as part of a firmware update, because that to me, I think that requires hardware. I think you have to have an onboard Wi-Fi signal to do Apple CarPlay. Isn't that the case? I think it uses Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. Let me know. Somebody will know the answer to that. So that would indicate to me that they have replaced the actual hardware that sits under the trunk, that they've updated it with some new hardware, maybe even a new version of Bluetooth, which would be nice. And I'm just speculating, purely speculation, that if you want that, you're going to have to buy a 2025. That if for those of us with a 2018 to 2024, we're stuck with what we have. That's just my guess. Okay, let me look at some of these notes. Most of you are just talking amongst yourself. I don't even know if you're listening to what I'm saying, if you're just maybe you're just having a nice little chat session between yourselves. Let's see. Robert White says, especially wires CarPlay. Is that hardware thing or software? I think it's hardware because my understanding is you have to have a Wi-Fi signal to do Apple CarPlay, but maybe I'm wrong. Kitty812 says, remember Honda is slow. Yes, they are. Robert White Moto. Okay. Gold Rider 1. He's reading your comments, Robert. You are special. Hey, I'm reading yours too, Mac. John Plascota said, how'd RW Moto? Watch your content as much as I can. Oh, howdy. He's from RW Moto. Watch your content as much as I can. Keep up the great content. Let's see. Road Glide said Mac is special. I don't know what that means. I remember in high school, I remember special ed. Is that what that means? Hope not. Okay. Let's see. Beza said, I left Kyle from Southern Power Sports a message to call me back yesterday. I'd like to buy a 2025. I'm from New York. I'll fly in and ride it home. Beza, make sure you tell him you want the Cruiseman's Garage discount because otherwise you won't get that $1,000 to $1,500 off. So make sure you tell him you want the Cruiseman's Garage special because I don't know when you joined this live broadcast. You may not have heard me mention that earlier. GHD said technologies evolved. They were obliged to change the multimedia setup. Not really. I wouldn't say they were obliged because there's so many other things that other manufacturers are doing that Honda's not doing yet, like blind spot monitoring. These Indians that I'm going to go out and test ride in the middle of this month, they have blind spot monitoring. They have some other cool technology that Honda doesn't have yet. They have a touch screen. They have a customizable screen. Honda, I think, has a perception, at least internally. I'm not sure if it's externally, but internally, I think they think of themselves as the gold standard. They think of themselves, maybe they are a little arrogant and they think we are the Goldwing, we are the standard, everybody else should be copying us. And they don't feel like they have to do what other companies are doing. I don't know if that's true. I'm just speculating again. That's all I do is speculate here because I know nothing. If you listen to me, you're in deep trouble. Gold Rider 1 tells Road Glide he's special in his own head. Aren't we all? I consider myself. What do you think of my shirt, by the way? What do you think of that new shirt? And by the way, we have some new merch. I'll be sending out. I sent out an email a couple of days ago. 50th anniversary. The colors don't show up very good on my screen. This is supposed to be gold. There's another design that my brother came up with, and that's unique and exclusive, and I call it the Bird in Flight. For those of you that watch this recorded, I'll make sure to put it up on the screen so you can see it. I can't do it live, but you can do it on the screen. Another email going out soon for those of you that are subscribed to my email list on this new merchandise for 50th anniversary. Very cool stuff. So let me know how you like it. I've been getting tons of orders. So the merchandise has been doing really well. Robin Dubois, Robin from Canada, Montreal, watching all your videos since 2020. You are the best. Thank you. You'll always get me to read comments like that because I have a poor self image and I need all the support I can get. Nicholas says he hasn't had any ads show up. Wow. Okay. Well, I guess that's good. Not putting any money in my pocket, but I guess it's good for you. B Tom says, you guys seeing ads? I'm not getting ads. Are you a paid member of YouTube? Do you pay a YouTube membership? Maybe they're not putting ads on if you paid. Beza said, love the shirt. I own 10 motorcycles. Wow. That's who I made this shirt for. And they come in all different colors. This one's a little large for me, but for some reason, I'm a weird size though. I'm like a pear. Okay. So I have very small shoulders and, well, you've seen me on video. You know what I am. Let's see. Unicorn Hairhead. Hey, how's it going? He came and had breakfast with us one day last year. Didn't like the white until I saw yours at breakfast last May. So it was last May he was here. It looks really nice in person and outdoors. I'm a big white fan. I like white motorcycles. I like white cars. I like especially pearl, the tricolor pearl colors. I really love it. And I'm a little sorry that they didn't. I will say one thing about the 2025 Goldwing. Robert and I talked about this the other day. The good thing about it, the fact that they didn't make a lot of changes, is it's going to save me a ton of money because now I don't have to buy a 2025. Because if they had come out with something really mind blowing that I felt like, first of all, it's a business for me. Okay. So if they had come out with a whole new generation of Goldwing, I would have to have one so I could make my videos for the new generation. So I would be forced to get a new 2025 just for that reason. And let's talk a little bit more about the 2026 Goldwing. What do you think we might be able to expect in 2026? I just have a suspicion that I think the 2025 is going to sell well. I think especially that red and maybe even the silver. A lot of you in over the last couple of years have asked me about why don't they have a silver Goldwing? A lot of people have wanted a silver color. And I'm anxious to see that color in person too. So those might be very popular, even though it's not an anniversary. Yeah, I guess you could always buy the trim that goes around the center panel switch. You can buy that part for the anniversary model and put it on there if you wanted to. It is technically an anniversary edition because it's a 2025 model. Probably cost you $100 or more, but you could do it. So I think the silver is maybe going to be a popular color, and I think the red is going to be very popular, and I think the gold will it'll find an audience. And once more of them get out there, more people get to see it in person. It could be a lot of people really like it. My initial reaction was not good. Let's see. Michael Sloan, Cruiseman, since you know nothing, I guess we're in good company. Okay. Yeah, I don't know anything. I don't have any contacts. I'm floundering out here on my own. So I appreciate those of you that support the channel by your memberships, your super chats, whatever you do. It's all greatly appreciated because it takes everything. I think we got up to about 143 people watching this. Now we're like at 135. So we'll probably cut this off before too much longer. I want to take some comments and questions. B Tom says Garmin XT2 is great. I agree. I love mine. I just haven't installed it on the new bike yet. Paul Dews, 2026 Wing, hoping for larger panniers. I don't know if Honda's going to do that. I don't know if they're going to. I don't know if they're going to go back to a bigger platform. I don't know. This smaller, lighter, sportier version of the Goldwing has been very successful for Honda. Last couple of years might have been slow because of COVID and other things, the economy. But I predict, I should say, that this next year there's so much optimism about the economy right now that's going to free up a lot of people to spend money, that they're going to be willing to buy things they might have held back on last year. So I hope Honda is investing in this new golden age economy, if you want to call it that. I was amazed that they only raised the price $500, to be honest with you. I think given everything else with inflation today, now they've reduced their costs somewhat because they got rid of the navigation. That's not a big deal killer for me. That certainly is not a deal killer for me. To me, the wireless CarPlay more than makes up for the lack of navigation. I love the fact that it's got wireless CarPlay. I can't wait to sit down and pair my iPhone with one of these new 2025s to see if it actually works. Because many of you may already know the story. It does not work in my 2025 Lexus. Wireless Apple CarPlay simply doesn't work. It doesn't work for texting. It works for phone calls, but not for texting. So I'm anxious to try that, and I'll let you know the first chance I get to hook one of these up to a 2025 Honda Goldwing. Hopefully they've updated the Bluetooth, and hopefully that will, I can't see why they would replace the audio navigation or lack of navigation, the audio package, the physical hardware, introduce Apple CarPlay and not upgrade the Bluetooth. I'm not even sure if Apple CarPlay would have worked with the version of Bluetooth that our Goldwings have. And I think to upgrade Bluetooth, it's a chip. I think somebody out there has to know something about electronics. I think it's a chip that has to be on that board. So that requires a whole new amplifier system, audio system. So just don't know. Michael Sloan says, Cruiseman, are you planning on reviewing the new Michelin tires? Depends on if Michelin will send me a set to review because I'm cheap. I don't need a new set of tires right now. I've only got 5, 6, 7,000 miles on this bike. So I'm not ready for new tires, but I would be open to reviewing them. I have always had good luck with Michelins on my cars. So yeah, we'll see. Very likely, very likely. And if I'm forced to buy, I think I actually have a whole new set of tires out in the garage I haven't installed yet. Let's see. B Tom says you can't go wrong with Michelin tires. Probably true. I met with the people from Michelin at EICMA a little over a year ago, November. Their booth was right next to our booth, and I went over and talked to those guys. And I asked them if they were planning on coming out with a tire for the Honda Goldwing, and they were very, they wouldn't tell me anything. So I figured that meant they probably were going to. But I think I saw them on the Wing Stuff website, and they look like they're pretty expensive. But then all the tires for the Goldwing are expensive right now. Virgil Shields says buying in a few months didn't seem to be that much of a price difference. It's not. It's like a $500 difference. 2025 over the 2024 is about $500. So it's really, I think that's, given the state of the economy the last few years with inflation on everything else. I think last year it only went up $100 or $200. It was really pretty reasonable. Road Glide, the Cruiseman Show, live from Dallas worldwide. You bet. Let's see. John Plascoda said, how many golden aged riders are on this podcast? What's a golden age rider? I don't know what that means. Been riding Goldwings for more than 50 years? Is that what that means? I know that for those of you that haven't seen the video, there's a video on Facebook, and I don't know where to find it. Maybe I can put the link in the description of the video once we get off this. But there's a video of at Southern Honda Power Sports where they're interviewing Charlie Brown. And Charlie Brown, for those of you who don't know, he's kind of a celebrity. He is a celebrity in the Goldwing community. And I got a chance to meet him when I was out at Southern Honda. In fact, he actually prepped my 2024 Goldwing, got it all cleaned up and prepped for me. He did a great job. Super, super nice guy. And he hangs out there at Southern Honda a lot. Well, he's been around forever, and I think he said he's owned every generation of Honda Goldwing, including he has a trike right now, but it's based on the sixth generation Goldwing. So if you get a chance and you can find it, and maybe you can put a link to it in the video, in this video down below in the comments, check it out. Charlie Brown's quite a character, super nice guy, loves to sit around and just talk about motorcycles. Okay, let's see. Paul Dews thinking fitting a Shiji, I don't know how to say that, touchscreen wireless CarPlay with cameras on the 2023 Wing. Okay. Rob, thanks, Cruiseman. I'm out. Okay, well, we'll see you later, Rob. John Plascota, 60 years plus. I guess that's what he's considering a golden age rider. Does that mean been riding for 60 years, been on Goldwings? Well, you couldn't be on Goldwing for 60 years, but 60, I'm over 60. So, and Robert, you're on your way, buddy. You're on your way. See, you just said in a few months. Michael Hoffman, what are your thoughts on black versus chrome durability? Good question. I'm assuming that the black on my pipes are powder coated. I'm assuming they're not paint. Surely they're not paint. They don't look anodized. I can't get that information definitively from anybody, but I would assume that they're powder coated. I would think that chrome is pretty damn durable. It is, you can find cars 50 years old that still have good chrome if they've been cared for. And I don't know if we've had this matte black powder coat on any vehicles or anything that has had that test of time. So I'm assuming it's probably going to be pretty reliable and pretty durable. I don't think it's an issue. I love the black wheels on my Goldwing. I like the way they blacked them out. Somebody told me those are painted and they're not powder coated. I find that hard to imagine that they would paint a wheel and not powder coat it. But maybe they are. Does anybody know? I just assumed they were powder coated when I got the bike, but somebody said they're painted. We'll see. My problem with paint is it scratches very easily. So when you go to get your tires changed and they put the tire changing, some of the guys don't take the time to put the little protective plastic cover on your rims, and they run that thing around there and they end up gouging or scratching your wheels. Really pisses me off. I guess you could touch it up with some black touch-up paint, or if you have silver, but I've had some scratches on my wheels in the past. Okay, let's see. Road Glide, 69 years young here. And I'll tell you what, I know Road Glide. He comes to breakfast with us. You see this guy, he's fit, man. He's in good shape. He'd kick all our asses, I think. Michael Sloan, Cruiseman, question on chrome. I have the luggage rack on my trunk. It has pitted. Why does it do that? And can it be cleaned up? I have a 2023 Wing Tour DCT. What kind of luggage, what brand luggage rack do you have, Michael? If it's Kuryakin, I can understand, because everything I ever had from Kuryakin that was chrome ended up pitting and rusting. there's no way to fix it. I mean, you can mitigate the rust to keep it from rusting worse, but some of these aftermarket companies they really have crappy chrome work. If it's a Honda, you might be able to get it covered under warranty. I don't know. Depending on the manufacturer, they might cover it under warranty. I had probably 3 sets of Kuryakin foot pegs on my 2005, 2007, 2012 Honda Goldwing. Every single one of them pitted and rusted. They were really, really crappy chrome. They would bubble up, and it's just it's just poor chrome. They don't they don't prepare the base metal properly when they apply the chrome, and it ends up just like if you do a paint job. If you don't spend the time to prep the surface properly, you're going to get a bad paint job. And same thing with chrome. If it's not perfectly clean, if it's not, if you're using bad chemicals, there's all kinds of things that come into play. I don't know enough about it, but I know that it's not uncommon. Michael said, let's see, has he responded to that yet? Gold Strike. Wow, I'm surprised because usually I think the Gold Strike chrome has been pretty good. But remember, the Gold Strike guys came from Kuryakin. Sorry, but they did. All their designers, not engineers and everything, I think, not all of them, but a lot of them, maybe. This is just, I'm giving you hearsay now. So maybe they have supply issues too. I would contact Gold Strike and see if they wouldn't work with you on some kind of replacement or credit or something. Steve Etier says, have you seen the scorched chrome finish on the 2025 Harley CVOs? I have not. I haven't seen any of the new Harleys probably in 2 or 3 years. I don't have a relationship with Harley. They don't send me bikes to review. They don't invite me to anything. So I tried. I've reached out to Harley to see if they'll give me bikes to review, but they don't even reply to my requests. Indian does, BMW has, Triumph has, but Harley has not, and Honda has, of course. Let's see. Michael Sloan says Gold Strike. Okay. Well, there you go. I'm just looking over some of these comments and questions. Unicorn Hairhead, bought myself a new 2024 bagger for my 70th birthday. Congratulations. When was that? You didn't ride that bike down to Dallas to have breakfast with us, did you? Weren't you on a different bike? I don't remember. Did you ride a bike? I don't even remember now. It's been so long. Let's see. Kitty 812. Keep going, Chris. We're getting info we like. Well, I don't know how much info I'm giving, really. Other than I saw a picture on the 2025 that looked to me like the seat was different, but they didn't say anything about changes to the seat. It looked like the bolster was higher right behind the rider, but Honda didn't make any mention of that, and I can't find the picture that I saw. And maybe it was a AI thing. And by the way, that brings up another point. I guess we now know all these AI videos that were put out last year were all BS, right? Because remember, they all showed what they said the 2025 Honda Goldwing was going to be like. Well, that all turned out to be BS. Stein Arn. I'm not even going to try to pronounce your last name, Stein. I have Gold Strike brake light mounted on the trunk. The glass started to get small cracks. Okay. So what I'm hearing is there might be some quality control issues with Gold Strike. I made a video recently where I talked about how I went back from the Show Chrome Commander mini boards as far as highway pegs. I went back to the Gold Strike foot pegs, which are also a matte black. Well, they're really not matte black. They're more of a gloss black, which I thought was odd because there's nothing on the bike that's glossy. So I wish those Gold Strike were more of a matte finish than a glossy finish. And I found it interesting that the mount that mounts to the, engine guard, the very bottom mount for those foot pegs is chrome, even though the rest of the foot peg is black. I thought that was kind of weird. They don't make those base mounts in black, but I wish they were matte black. And I like the adjustability of those Gold Strike pegs. So I haven't had anything from Gold Strike that's chrome. I don't have a relationship with Gold Strike. We haven't worked together. I haven't typically don't review their product. I've never reviewed their products. The only reason I talk about the Gold Strike foot pegs is because it came on my 2024. It had the Gold Strike highway pegs on there when I picked up the bike at Southern Honda. Unicorn Hairhead says yes. 2021 gray bagger I rode down from Michigan. So I guess I just had already forgotten that. I probably got a picture of it somewhere. I'm sorry. Okay. So he rode from Michigan to Dallas Fort Worth just to have breakfast with me. No, he probably rode down to have breakfast with Robert, but I just happened to be there. Or maybe he rode down to have breakfast with Don Smith. We don't know. That will be the mystery that will be unsolved. Now, Michael Hoffman says, I'm going to Texas next month. When do you do your breakfast get together? Michael, right now we are meeting the first Sunday of every month at a wake in Carrollton. But I think if I'm correct, you have emailed me offline. So if you come in on another day or something, maybe we can arrange something where we can get together and have a cup of coffee or do something. Now Michael Sloan says, now I'm wondering if I should put the Gold Strike lighting I bought that has chrome. Yeah, well, if you've had problems with chrome on the luggage rack, which is, I believe, metal, I think their lights are probably plastic. That's probably a plastic chrome, which is a different process. But I can understand why you might hesitate. I would see if they will make an adjustment for you on the luggage rack first before I would commit to that. That would just be my. Jason asked the $1,000,000 question. Jason Schneider, what is your opinion on going the dark side tire for a Goldwing? Oh boy, now we've opened up a can of worms. Dark side. It's not for me. A lot of guys are very happy with going, car tires on a motorcycle. Um, I'm just in the camp that says motorcycle tires are made specifically for motorcycles. They have the shoulder of the tires, or the whatever you call that, roundness of the tire, so that when you lean it, it's designed for that. A car tire is flat. It's not designed to be leaned over one way or the other. It's on a car, you turn like this. You don't turn like this. Just my thought. I mean, they design, engineer tires specifically for motorcycles for a reason. I know the argument. The argument is they're just as safe. They last a lot longer. They're a lot cheaper. I agree. And I honestly I've only heard one case in probably 20 years where a guy said he had a real issue with a dark side tire. He was riding the tail of the Dragon, and he told me that the bead broke loose on the tire and he lost all his air pressure, and he almost lost the bike, dropped the bike going around a turn. That gave me pause right there. Possibly he didn't have the right tire pressure. It could be that he had him and his wife on the bike and that exceeded the weight limits. I don't know the details. I just remember hearing that story, and it's always given me pause on using a car tire. This is a $30,000+ motorcycle. I am not going to take the risk just to save 100 or $200 on a tire. But it may not be a risk. I know a lot of you guys out there are dark siders and you've been doing it for years. You've never had a problem. I think if most of your riding is on flat surfaces, interstates, not riding the tail of the dragon every day at high speed, uh, probably do just as good as a motorcycle tire for that purpose. Save a lot of money. But I'm going to get a lot of blowback on this one. I know I am because I always do. It's a controversial issue. Another controversial issue is oil, and I'm going to do a video coming up on. I've been doing a lot of research on oil. When should you do your first oil change? Should you pre-fill your oil filter? I mean, I bet I've watched 24 videos from what appear to be very credible sources. Not me. I all of my information comes from other people. Okay, I just repackage it. Let's see. I'm just looking over the questions here. Sorry for the dead airspace. Well, Robert White said, well, okay, might as well debate the oil brand next. As far as brand of oil, I don't have a dog in that fight. I don't think you can go wrong with the Honda oil. I don't use Honda oil exclusively. I've used Castrol. I've used it for years because it's the only other oil I've found that meets Honda's specifications. I have to use the 10W40 because Castrol's 1030 has that conserving thing tag on the back, and that's Honda says not to use that, so I don't use it. I only use oil that Honda recommends, their specifications. But I have used Castrol. I've used Honda oils. I've used Castrol. So I'm not going to get in a huge debate about brands of oil. John Plascota said, no dark side. I agree with Cruiseman. Well, I guarantee you there's going to be 100 guys that disagree with me on that. And maybe, I don't know that there's a definition. I don't know that there's a defined consensus on dark siding. I think it's split right down the middle. But most of you, I'm seeing comments say that you would never do dark side. Almost all the comments I'm seeing on the chat claim to agree with me. Okay, I think we're getting off in the weeds here. I think I've told you everything I know about the 2025 and possibly the 2026. I still think maybe 2026 will be the year we'll see a new generation. We better see one pretty damn quick or I'm not going to be around to see it, okay? So we need to, Honda needs to get on it, man. No, I'm just kidding, I think. Am I kidding? So I love my 2024. I don't see a compelling reason to move up to a 2025. I think if I had here's a good thought. If I still had my 2018, would I move up to a 2025? I guess I would because I moved up to a 2024. Would I move to a 2024 or would I move to the 2025? Which would I prefer? I would probably go with the 2025 for me because I'd want that wireless CarPlay. I'd want the additional year of warranty. Even though it doesn't matter when you buy it, I guess you still get the 3-year warranty. I would probably the only downside for me would be the colors. I'm not really a red guy. I've never had a red bike. I've always had white or yellow. Maybe I'll fall in love with that gold. Maybe I would go with that. So from a color perspective, I'd probably go with the white 2024. But from a technology perspective, with the new radio and the new design of the icons and everything, I really need to see this in person to give a full evaluation. I might go with the 2025 just to have the upgrade with the wireless CarPlay. I don't know. It's a tough choice. It's a tough choice. I really love this white and black bike. I really like that. So, what do you guys think? If you're going to get a new Goldwing tomorrow and you had to pick, would you go with a 2024 if you could still get one, or would you go with the 2025? And in 2026, I think we're going to see some changes. That's just me being wishful thinking, maybe. And I think with a new generation of Goldwing, they're going to have to be dramatic changes. They're not just going to be bits and bobs like we're seeing right now. I think they're going to have to dramatically change the technology package. They're going to have to dramatically change some things, maybe even engine and transmission wise, even though the transmission is flawless, in my opinion, the DCT. This is where Honda really shines, is that engine and transmission. That's what Honda's known for. Reliability, durability, performance, but not even so much performance as just reliability and durability and smoothness. And that's what the Goldwing is really known for. One more question or comment. Mixed raceable. Should I wait for the 2026 Goldwing? Well, it depends on how old you are. If you're in your 40s or 50s, sure. Why not wait? It depends on what you're riding right now. But you can wait forever and you may never get what you're looking for. And you never know what's going to happen between now and 2026. Life changes. Parents go into the hospital or go into a nursing home. Kids have issues. If you can get a motorcycle right now that you want, get it. When 2026 comes, if something is so amazing that you've got to have that, you'll figure out a way to get it. I am not a big fan at my age of putting things off. So now is the time to buy whatever you want of what's available. If you keep looking down the road for something better, it may never come. We don't know. Okay, that's it. I'm done. Thank you guys for participating. I appreciate it. Thanks for joining in. If you like these live shows, let me know. Let me know in the comments once this is posted. It'll probably maybe be tomorrow sometime. I'll get this posted on YouTube. And Kitty 812 says best live so far. Okay, see, I just need something to talk about. So thanks, guys. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for those of you who are members. Many of you I've seen your member tags. Thank you for supporting the channel. And I will see you on the next Cruiseman Live or the next Crown and Comments, which will be coming up toward the end of this month. I'll probably wait till I get back from the Indian event to do a Crown and Comments. I'll probably make that one of the topics that we talk about on Crown and Comments. Tell you all about these Indians I get a chance to ride. So thanks again, and I will see you soon. Goodbye for now.